What prompted you guys to make the change at kick returner during the game to Hightower?
Just in the ebb and flow of the game, you saw Quez was out there a lot on wide receiver. He just needed a quick blow right there. And John had worked on it all through Wednesday, so that's probably also the reason why you didn't see Jalen back there. That, with his ankle and everything, was able to practice on Wednesday. And I never want to put a player out there that hadn't practiced in a situation. Granted, it is kickoff return. He's been doing it for a while, but still, the player's safety obviously comes into play. So it was just one of those things where Quez had, he was playing a lot of offense right there, and John stepped in there, and he just made a poor decision that I have to do a better job of just kind of explaining, like, hey, if you're running sideways, let's just take the touchback and let's just be smart right here. Because one, when they do kick it in the corner right there, you put yourself in a bad predicament because they cut off 80% of the field right there. So it was all me, and just in terms of just telling them, hey, if you're running sideways, let it go. We'll take the touchback at 25. Luckily, the offense did a heck of a job bailing us out. They scored on that 85-yard play right there. But it's more just on myself, just being, and John got called up for that game. He's probably amped up and everything. So it's just more on me, just slowing him down, like, hey, you'll get your opportunity. Just, if you're running sideways, let's just take the touchback right there.
Worry about that when you have a young player who doesn't have a lot of opportunities to make plays, that they might try to be more aggressive than you want them to be?
You obviously know that kind of going in. It never worries you. You always want to just try to explain to him, hey, this is how it's going to go. We never want to put anybody in a bad predicament, whether that's the offense or defense. But, these guys want to make plays, and it's nothing out of malicious intent. It's not like he went out there thinking, I'm going to hurt this team right now in terms of ourselves. But it's just one of those things. He just made a bad decision, just trying to be, competitive, and he'll learn from it.
Tyree Jackson got to play that one preseason game before he got injured, but this was his first time really ever playing on special teams when it mattered. How do you think he performed?
Well, he did a great job on the field goal pro from specialty wise. We tried to get him on the punt return. Obviously, we didn't have any opportunities with that. I didn't get to watch much of the offense. I know he was on there for that long drive with that he looked like he was really getting after it. But we're really excited about Tyree, and once again, just getting his feet wet again. Like he said, last game was his first real time playing. You get preseason, yes, but it's a little bit different in the regular season. But we're excited to keep him growing and give him a little bit bigger role in the following weeks.
How does it work with Quez? You said Quez, had played a lot of wide receiver and needed a break. How does that work? Is it something like Nick says to you, like, hey, maybe Quez needs a breather? Does Quez say something, or do you kind of say, hey, Nick,
No, it just comes with the communication. Like I alluded to when we were in Kansas City, when Quez got dinged up a little bit, him and Jalen talked to me. Then they came and talked to me, say, hey, let me just take this guy. And you saw Quez was back out there after that one with Hightower. He just needed a break more than anything else. But as long as the communication's there and we're all on the same page, it's nothing too worrisome. They all get the work, especially on Wednesdays when we do our kickoff return. So it was just one of those things. He just needed a little break right there. Then he was right back out there.
And no Jalen because of the coming off the injury. No Rager returning.
Yeah, I just didn't want to, he didn't do it on Wednesday. He was, rehabbing back. I just didn't want to put him in that bad predicament right there. If we would have had a punt return, he would have been out there because he was out there in practice on Thursday. It's just one of those things where I never want to put the player or the person in just a bad predicament where they're coming off an injury.
Mike, how do you approach those end-of-game desperation situations? I mean, can you justify spending that much time on them? How does that kind of work?
It's just one of those things that you may never get it in your career. You may get it twice in your career. It's just one of those things where you always want to have something up, but it's almost like it's I would say even worse than the onside kick. Like your probability is not much, especially with all these new rules and these coordinators are so smart, different times of tactics right there. So it's just one of those things where sometimes you get lucky and you can pull off a Music City miracle or something like that nature.
At this point of the season, how would you say the three featured specialists between Rick, Aaron, and Jake have progressed?
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job so far this year. Obviously, with Aaron, he started off so hot in Atlanta, and he saw what he could do, especially in that plus 50 area. And you saw last week getting it down at the 1. And even you probably ask him, you probably want to say he want to be a little more consistent in the open field. But I think he's done a very good job in terms of, this almost like his rookie year in terms of coming in, getting the job, and helping the team. He's flipped the field a couple times for us right there. Then Jake, he's been steady. He's been steady right there. The one thing, he pushed the one against Tampa Bay to the right a little bit, but everything else, he's been smooth, compact with everything, and he's showing off why he's still a very good kicker in this league. And Rick is as steady as they come. When you don't hear about a long snapper, usually he's doing a pretty good job. So we've been very pleased with those three, and they're just kind of a calming factor for the whole special team room.
In a few games elsewhere, including last night, we've seen teams try long field goals in end-of-game situations. What's the longest you've ever seen Jake Elliott kick?
It all determining factors, where you're at. If it's in a dome, obviously, here in the link, he hit a 61-yarder against the Giants. But we really don't, because it puts a lot of pressure on their legs. Training camp, we'll go in and, try a couple things here and there. But I've seen him hit 60-plus yarders before. And, for a small guy, he does have a very strong leg. Obviously, you saw in Carolina, he hit that 58-yarder, which is the longest in the NFC right now. So, given the opportunity, say, it's a tie game, 3 seconds left, and we want to trot him out there. Let's trot him out there. He has a strong enough leg, and then we have our little coverage for our field goal unit right there, just in case they do want to put someone back there.
So you don't practice those long field goals?
No. Maybe on the side when nobody's looking, we'll have hit a couple just here and there, but for the most part, we want to keep it as game realistic as possible. Those are in the 40 to 49 range. And you get a lot more of those 20 to 39 ranges now, so we want to be really good at that. Then, given our opportunities at the 50 yards and longer, then we'll take our chances with those.
So along those lines, have you been to Denver before, and how much does that usually change things?
Been to Denver once for a preseason game. Obviously, it's a little bit different. Obviously, the weather in August comparative to November is going to be different, but haven't played a regular season there, so I really can't say in terms of how the ball is going to travel. I'm going to assume, just looking at the weather, it's going to be a nice fall day in Denver. So hopefully, we still get a little help from the altitude. So we'll see it, come game day once we're out there on the field, how these guys are feeling.
How does real quick? We've seen Aaron kind of drop in a few of those punts real close to the goal line. Is that something he came here with, or is that something you guys have worked on with him, those kicks?
I think a lot comes from his Australian rules football background. And you see a lot of these guys are so, they're almost like sharpshooters in there in the plus 50 area, especially all these punters. But he does excel at it, and we work really hard at it on Thursdays. We get the gunners some work for game type situation. We give our returners work in that plus 50 area, and Aaron's done a fantastic job so far. I think he's only had one touchback, and that was more user error with Zach kind of just being a little amped up right there. And as much as we want to kind of grow as a team, Zach had the same opportunity this past week, and he's kept calm. He downed it at the one, but Aaron's been doing such a great job of helping those gunners get down there, pinning it back, and helping our defense give long fields for them to defend.